Convertkit is a really great email marketing software for pretty much anyone who is a coach, a consultant, people who sell digital products, bloggers, creative business owners. Like, it really runs the gamut. It's a really robust email marketing software without being too overwhelming.
There might not be anything more valuable than having your own email newsletter. You're not beholden to the algorithms of the social media platforms, the design and look of them, or even how you can sell things. With an email newsletter, you can control the messaging, the design, and how you sell your products or services. Getting started with an email newsletter can be confusing though. What tools should you use to manage it all? How do I even get people to sign up for my newsletter? How often should I send my newsletter? These are just some of the questions I had when I got started. I'm still learning all about having a great email newsletter, so I brought in Bev Feldman, who is an email marketing fairy godmother, as she puts it. Bev is someone I've gotten to know through ConvertKit's Craft and Commerce Conference and is an expert in using ConvertKit, an email newsletter tool for creators. ConvertKit is the email newsletter tool I use for my own venture. You can check it out below, and it's a tool I highly recommend for creators. So in this video, I wanted to walk through in its entirety how to get started with my favorite email newsletter tool, ConvertKit. I'll let Bev explain why someone should use ConvertKit.
It really boils down to a couple things. What are your goals when it comes to email marketing? What else are you using for your business? And also, what kind of business do you own? I was on a call with some folks a couple weeks ago who are product-based businesses, and I was like, in that case, I recommend something else like Klaviyo, but otherwise, I think ConvertKit is a really great email marketing software for pretty much anyone who is a coach, a consultant, people who sell digital products, bloggers, creative business owners. Like, it really runs the gamut. And I think depending on what other things you're using to run your business, ConvertKit can be a really great tool that can be integrated with a lot of those other platforms. And the other piece to it is I feel like it's a really robust email marketing software without being too overwhelming.
Bev's last comment there is such a great way to explain ConvertKit. It's a robust email marketing software tool without being too overwhelming. Let me show you in ConvertKit itself. Here I am in ConvertKit right when I log in. It shows me any revenue from digital products, which I currently don't have. And then right below that, it shows me the total number of subscribers I have on my email newsletter, plus what growth is like in a very simple way. The menu bar at the top is what makes ConvertKit really easy to use. The first two tabs are where you'll most likely spend most of your time: Grow and Send. In Grow, there's subscribers, creators profile, landing pages and forms, and recommendations. It's everything that is helping you grow your newsletter. Subscribers is just who is on your list in more depth. Your creator profile is like your ConvertKit webpage that you can actually use as a website if you wanted. Recommendations are you and others recommending one another's newsletters, and landing pages and forms are ways for people to sign up for your newsletter in segmented ways. More on that in a bit. In Send, broadcasts are where you can email your entire list. Sequences are automated emails based on actions your subscribers take. Email templates are what you think they are, and snippets are a different type of template. You can think of snippets as templates that are blocks of your emails instead of the entire email as a template. Now, you won't use Automate as much as Grow and Send, but you can create automations obviously and integrate with other tools, as Bev mentioned. I love native integrations quite a bit, and ConvertKit continues to build on these. Recently, they integrate with Mighty Networks so that your community and email newsletter can work seamlessly together. You can learn more about Mighty Networks in a different video I did earlier on this channel. You can see there's a lot you can do in ConvertKit, but it's pretty simple to move around and understand where things are in the tool. So let's say you have a list of 50 people that you just haven't sent an email to yet. How should you go about moving that list into ConvertKit?
I would start with what I call subscriber strategy. And this is how you're using things like segments and tags and custom fields to organize your subscribers, because you don't want to just dump everyone in there and then have a list of subscribers. Basically, it's knowing your audience and what information you might need to know about them, but start by breaking them up with tags, because that's kind of a nice baseline. It might be things like, what interests do they have, or depending on your business model, what levels are they at, or what topics are they interested in? And if you just have, a regular CSV file and all you have is names and email addresses, still better than nothing. But if you have a way to identify how people came onto your list, to also gauge where your marketing efforts are working. it's a tricky balance between having enough information without too much information and also keeping it organized so that you understand what all of this information means. Because as your business grows and hopefully your email list size grows as well with it, it's much easier to do it when it's smaller than to try to fix it when you've got like thousands or tens of thousands of subscribers.
Let's go through what this looks like within a CSV and ConvertKit. I have this list of made up names and emails, and I tag them by how they entered this list in theory. Let's say 20 of these people are founders I know already and just DM to see if they're interested in being on the list. Maybe 10 came through my simple landing page and I don't know anything about them. The other 20, let's say I met them at a pitch event. As Bev mentioned, if you can tag them early, it helps you be more specific in your email marketing and understand why or why not certain messaging is working in the long run. Now that I have the CSV organized and subscribers tagged, I can go to subscribers and then make my way to add subscribers. Here, I can upload the CSV and then select which forms, sequences, and tags these subscribers should have along with what I already have in the CSV. I'll map the fields here with name, email, and comma separated tags, and then voila, the emails are now imported into ConvertKit. Since we haven't segmented this current list super well so far, how might we actually get more information to segment the list better as it grows?
I also personally really like asking an additional question when someone comes onto your email list so that you can kind of start to put them into these buckets. It might be, what topics are they interested in as it relates to you as a business owner? Kind of one key identifier that will again help you to segment your subscribers. To give you a more concrete example, I currently ask my subscribers, do you use ConvertKit? Because even though I do email automation strategy, I primarily focus on ConvertKit. So I ask folks, do you use ConvertKit? And they can give one of 4 answers. Yes, they do. No, they don't. They use something else. No, they use nothing. Or they're thinking about switching to ConvertKit. And each of those is tied to a tag. Just asking one key question that will help you to better understand your audience and to identify them right off the bat as soon as they come onto your email list.
So here we are on Bev's landing page for her newsletter. We'll talk about landing pages in ConvertKit in a second, but as you can see, Bev has first name, last name, email, and then the 4 different choices she talked about for segmenting her list. It's super simple, but really powerful. Generally, I personally think that this makes the experience better for you, the email newsletter operator, and for those subscribing to your newsletter. The more personalized it gets for your reader, I tend to think the better. Now we have our emails and subscribers in ConvertKit. How should we go about emailing them? How often should we email them?
I always recommend with folks having some sort of welcome or onboarding nurture sequence. So at the very least, when someone signs up for your email, you want them to get that, oh, hey, thank you for signing up, you're here, instead of ghosting them. And then I recommend a series of emails after that. So that would actually be sequences, but not a broadcast. So you're welcoming people in as soon as they come on. Those tend to be a little more spaced together than you would a broadcast email that goes out to folks. In terms of how often you should send out an email broadcast, it's so dependent on your business model, your audience. I actually, as of this week, decided to switch from a weekly newsletter to a 3 times a week newsletter as like a 30-day experiment. And I wouldn't recommend that for everyone. Some I find for my space, people are a little bit more tolerant because I'm talking to other business owners. And I think a lot of us have come to expect kind of more frequent emails from certain creators. But other email communities, especially if you're maybe in a more B2C space, business to consumer, they might not want that many emails. But of course, who knows? It again really depends on your audience. And I think it's a lot of experimentation, which is why I think when people hear, well, how many emails should I send? And I can't give you a firm answer, it can feel really frustrating. Setting it up as like maybe a 90-day experiment. Try it out and see what's happening. Like, what are the open rates? What are the click-through rates? How many people are replying to your emails? Is it leading to whatever your goals are? Is it leading to booked calls, to sales, to list growth, whatever that primary goal is? And then you can reevaluate from there to see if you might need to adjust how often you do it.
Bev mentioned here 2 different types of emails in ConvertKit, sequences and broadcasts. Sequences that Bev mentioned are automated emails once someone signs up for your newsletter. In ConvertKit, if you go to send and then sequences, you can then create new sequences based on how a subscriber signed up. I like to think of sequences as introducing yourself in more depth or even as an email course depending on how subscribers sign up to your newsletter. I don't use sequences yet, I only send a weekly newsletter. I haven't felt that it fits my typical subscriber. For others, I can totally see how this is helpful for more information or just by providing more value out of the gate. The second way to send emails that Bev mentioned was broadcasts. If we go back to the homepage in ConvertKit, go to send and then broadcast, you can see that I can send a new broadcast here on the right. Personally, I only send a weekly broadcast and then typically duplicate my previous week's broadcast instead of choosing new broadcast and then an email template from there. I have found it helpful to just reread what I sent the previous week. You can duplicate by going to the three dots here on the right and then clicking duplicate. You'll see here in broadcast that there are open rates and click rates and other data that's describing the success of these broadcasts already sent. How should someone view these metrics though? What's a good open rate?
It's so hard to say what's a good open rate for a couple of reasons. One, it's industry dependent. It's also open rates are not super accurate because of privacy settings on people's email platforms that they're using to read their emails. So I like to look at open rates instead of individual opens in the context of other emails. If you see, for example, this email at a 50% open rate, well, it doesn't tell you a whole lot, but if you say this email at a 50% open rate, then the next one had a 70% open rate, it's like, oh, what is it about the 70% open rate that got people to open? Conversely, if it goes down, like, oh, how might I tweak this? Nothing exists in a vacuum. It's all like relative to each other. With click-through rates, obviously higher is better. And I think that tends to be a little bit more accurate. But it's not only what's the percent of people who are clicking, but what are they clicking to? Because if everyone's clicking to say your free stuff and no one's clicking to the thing that helps like bring revenue, then does that click-through rate actually matter? It goes back to what your goals are. I think if you just give it a couple weeks and say, no one's opening or clicking or responding to my emails, I give up. That's not enough time to actually gain momentum. You have to give it, I'd say honestly, more than 90 days, but just to give you a kind of a starting baseline.
For me personally, I hover around a 50% open rate and I'd say more around a 3% click rate. If you go into the homepage once you're logged into ConvertKit, scroll down and you'll see email performance in the last 90 days. It says a 53% open rate and a 4% click rate. Now, that's including when people sign up to receive a template from me too. Those open rates and click rates are much higher than my weekly emails because there's a tangible thing these subscribers want right away. The way you can send these freebies and lead magnets to people automatically in ConvertKit is through the landing pages that we've hinted at throughout this video. If you go to grow and then landing pages and forms, you'll see I have a bunch of different landing pages. Landing pages are pages where people can sign up for your newsletter. In theory, you could just have one landing page where everyone signs up. However, you can't segment or send the freebies as well as you could. I like to create landing pages based on where people are finding me from and if I have a freebie. So I have these different landing pages for the different social media platforms and then these landing pages for different templates that I'll mention in other YouTube videos. The nice thing about these landing pages for freebies and lead magnets is that you can set the landing page to automatically send the freebie and confirm the subscriber at the same time. So if I go into this Venture Foundations course landing page, go to settings and then incentive, you can see there's a link to the course here. That link is attached to the incentive email, aka the email the subscriber receives when they sign up via this particular landing page. It's specific to this landing page too. So you can have different freebies and lead magnets depending on the landing page. To see the incentive email, you can click on Edit Email Contents, and the button there is what subscribers need to click to receive the freebie and confirm their subscription to your email newsletter. It's two birds, one stone. Having another thing to create can be a hassle though. Do you need to have a freebie or a lead magnet to incentivize someone to join your newsletter?
I don't know if it's me or if I'm just noticing a shift in general where people are not necessarily, it's not that they're not drawn to lead magnets or freebies that they're signing up for, but that a well-positioned newsletter on its own can be incentive enough. I have a couple freebies, but they're no longer front and center on my website. Like on my website, I have in my footer now the ability to sign up for my newsletter. I share what it's about. It's like, a weekly newsletter for coaches, consultants, and like small business owners who want to be intentional and values aligned with their email automation strategy. So I have that in my footer. I have it on my homepage, my about page. Between that and ConvertKit's Creator Network, that is where most of my email signups are coming from, not from freebies, that are floating around the internet. I've seen other people do this really well.
I've been experiencing what Bev is saying about people signing up without the need for a freebie and have seen other creators just showing off their newsletter without any freebie. I think if your newsletter is clear on what it is and who it's for, people will give you a shot. If you're providing value to them just with your newsletter, which you should be, then people I think will stick around. Sometimes with freebies, I think the unsubscribe rate is high, which defeats the entire purpose of having the freebie a lot of the time. One thing that Bev mentioned here, which I found interesting, is that she is gaining most of her subscribers through the landing pages without a lead magnet and through the ConvertKit Creator Network. What is the Creator Network?
Basically, it's a way to refer and be referred by other ConvertKit users. So it's a great way to grow your email list organically with other folks who maybe are in your network and serve somewhat related audiences, but not the exact same audience. For me, I probably wouldn't refer a fellow ConvertKit specialist because then I'm kind of competing with them. But, folks I refer are people in marketing and messaging and like other parts about business ownership and marketing. And a number of them, we refer each other. I have random people I've never connected with who refer me, which is kind of cool. I actually reached out to someone who was referring me to thank him, and we had a coffee chat because I was curious to learn more about his business. I do think it could be a really great way to grow your list. The thing that I don't like about it is you don't, as of time we're recording this, you don't have control over who refers you. So I've had people very thoughtfully refer me, but we have such completely different businesses. It actually doesn't make sense that they refer me. So then they get people sign up for their email list, they recommend me, and they sign up for my email list, and then they almost immediately unsubscribe because they're probably thinking, why am I getting emails about email marketing? I'm not a business owner. As someone in the creator network, being mindful in that regard about who you're selecting and making sure it makes sense based on what your newsletter is about.
I've really enjoyed the Creator Network so far and have found it helpful. It's building with other creators rather than just myself, which is really nice. It's made creating content more collaborative, kind of like me creating this video with Bev. It's just a newsletter instead. You can find me and Bev on the ConvertKit Creator Network. One thing to note here is that you do need to be on a paid plan for ConvertKit to use the Creator Network. However, if you just want to click around ConvertKit and explore it yourself, you can get started in ConvertKit for free. Check out the link in the description if you'd like to get started with ConvertKit. A big thank you to Bev Feldman for joining me for this, and you can learn more about Bev and her work on her website in the description.